It is 9 o'clock, and we will get started with the October 2nd Properties Committee meeting. Good to see you all here. We'll call this to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and do the pledge as you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, great. We have a quorum. Jolene Piaskowski is, I believe, the only one who is not present this morning. And so we will move on to 1.04, which is the meeting procedures statement that is read at every meeting. The governing board and its committees conduct all of their meetings in compliance with Arizona Planned Community Association open meeting laws per statute 33-1804 and in concert with RCSCW bylaws, policies, and standing rules. Parliamentary procedures, as outlined in the most recent edition of Robert's Rules of Order, will also be followed in all meetings as appropriate, consistent with Bylaw 3.07, which is procedures for owner-member meetings, and Standing Rules number 2 and number 3. All right, moving on. 2.01, approval of minutes. We have Property Committee meeting minutes from September 4th, 2005. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Seeing none, those minutes will stand approved as presented. Moving on to reports. 3.01, capital improvement projects manager report, and that will be by interim CIP manager Carl Wilhelm. Yay.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah, very good. Okay, for the month of September, at our October meeting here, R.H. Johnson Silvercraft Club Room remodel is in progress. It's looking amazing. Facilities maintenance and I are at the phase for these last 30 days approximately where we're getting ready to put the room back together. There are club liaisons in the club doing some work and getting prepared for their end of it. So it's a cooperative closing of project. And so at the next meeting, I hope to announce that it is complete. The Sports Pavilion Lizard Acres Pub remodel, also project in progress. We had some difficulties with Maricopa County inspections on them requiring a health permit to be included in the package, which was not originally advised by them, but our final building inspector and environmental services for Maricopa County saw otherwise. So I have rapidly engaged in a permit process. I have that plan review done by environmental services, but there is a potential that it could delay what our projected opening that has been announced on the community news areas for October 14th. So there's a potential that that 14th grand opening could be delayed due to environmental services final inspection. So in fact, I'm calling my very first inspection tomorrow morning with environmental services, and that will weed out any bugs that they see different than planning and development's inspection process. So I hope that goes smoothly, but we'll keep you posted. The R.H. Johnson pool tile dustless blasting project was completed on 9/17. We had a vendor come out for the very first time, and they have a very intricate rig that they drove up on our great lawn and 200 plus foot of hose, and they were able to dustless blast all our tile clean with salt. And salt dissipates in the pool. It was a very positive project, and it will help us keep that tile looking good until either a next trip by the same vendor or a choice to replace the tile in the future. Palm Ridge parking lot asphalt seal and stripe project was completed 9/10. The Beardsley Arts and Crafts storage yard shed was completed 8/26. Deer Valley received a new tile roof that was completed on 8/18. And Desert Trails also received a new tile roof on 8/20. And that completes my portion of the report.
Thank you, Carl. Are there any questions from the committee for Carl? Anything from the audience? We have nothing online, so thank you, Carl. We will move on to 3.02, Maintenance Manager Report from Maintenance Manager Russ Boston.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Russ.
So at Beardsley, exterior painting of complex continues as time permits. I say that because we've received quite a few disappointing comments from the users at Beardsley, and understandably so. The guys will show up, start painting, and then they disappear for sometimes months. And it has been months because they've been over at Lizard Acres and the billiards room for the last few months. So that was always planned to be a filler project. We have not stopped. We will keep going until it is complete. That being said, Lizard Acres, the ceiling tiles were all changed from white to black. The white tiles were being reused in the billiards room, as we had already proposed to change those tiles out during that project. And that remodel in billiards is about 85% complete. We are changing the deco trim on the walls throughout, retexturing and painting, and then, of course, replacing the ceiling tile with our standard 755B as we go through. And then at the end will be the carpet replacement when we're all done. And then the Silvercraft remodel, we're about 85% complete. The only items we have left is to put some detail in their tool room, and then we have to reface all their work tables. And that completes my report.
All right, thanks, Russ. Any questions from the committee for us? Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Russ, do you know, are they replacing some of those pool tables? It looked like they might be. I wasn't sure when I looked.
If they are, that'd be out of my wheelhouse. My job is to move them for the carpet and then move them back.
Does Carl know?
I was reading the report.
So that would be a Gary question for bowling. No, okay. So I'm being told by accounting, no, there's no pool tables being replaced.
Okay, thank you.
I believe we recovered some of those, though, didn't we, recently?
That's an ongoing
Yes,
thing.
yeah, they did. I don't remember how many, but yes, there were some recovered.
Okay. Any comments from the audience? And there is nothing online. Well, 8 minutes in and we're moving right along. I like that. Yes, sir. I don't have that on my agenda.
Work in progress.
Oh, Sabrina, I guess we're going to hear from you.
Yeah, they'll get me added on the agenda for our next meeting, but we are going to start including some facility operations updates for you guys during these meetings as well. So starting at RH Johnson, during that closure for the pool over the last 2 weeks, we were able to clean and remove that calcification on those outdoor showers. So we have those restored to get a few more years out of that before we go to replace. So that was a positive thing that my night crew was able to do. The outdoor speakers were replaced, all the ground speakers and the ones that are located up on our poles on the pool deck out there. We've gotten great feedback from the fitness clubs and then of course the users out there for how well the music sounds. And then we are currently in the process of replacing any weathered or cracked vinyl benches around the RH Johnson facility complex. So you'll start seeing some new benches popping up, or if you guys receive any concerns that there might be a bench looking a little worn or it's pinching someone's legs, we're on top of it for this budget. And then over at Beardsley, we went ahead and installed a speed bump in the aquatics parking lot. we had a lot of concerns, just people not slowing down for pedestrians and members coming through those front doors. So again, we've received a lot of positive comments to get the traffic to slow down there. And then at Kuntz, when we get into our tour over there, you're going to see a few items rearranged in the fitness room. This is to create the opportunity for additional machines, and a few different machines actually than we have in there. And that feedback came from the Kuntz cardio survey. So I am working on that full replacement of cardio equipment right now. And then in that fitness room, facility maintenance will be adding additional outlets for me to support some new features on that new cardio equipment. So that is all I have. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that report. Any questions from the committee? Pretty quiet. Anything from the audience? I don't see anything online. So now we'll move on to 4.01, which is the Automotive Restoration Club Phase 3 Building Expansion Request Discussion. All right, this may take a couple minutes. Excuse me. Holly and I met with representatives from Budget and Finance and Chartered Clubs Committee. I don't know, I think it was a week or two ago, so that we could get the full presentation from ARC. Now that presentation was also available to all the members of the committee online on the hub. And so hopefully you've all had a chance to look at that. What we would like to be able to do is come to it's not a decision, come to a consensus that we either support or don't support this expansion request from ARC and move that forward to the governing board. So with that said, any comments from the committee? Go ahead.
According to what I just read in one of the local news, ARC didn't present the vote when they did it properly, so they got to redo it now. So is that going to take the whole project back a ways or what? I don't know.
I guess I wasn't aware of that. And this isn't something that's going to be finalized today or tomorrow. So
Of course not.
There is some time left here. Any other comments from the committee? Carl?
Would you like a response to that? So
Sure.
Casey Huta is working through that discrepancy, so I do believe that there will be another general membership meeting with a new vote done more appropriately. And so I am on hold on any approving of a PO for the planning until then.
Okay. Suzanne?
I can also speak a bit to that. Currently, the membership of ARC is voting online as to whether or not to proceed with the $40,000 investment in the architectural plans. The voting is all this week, so it ends on Friday. Won't know the outcome of the vote until after Friday.
Thank you for that. Carl might explain this better, but the way this works is ARC doesn't build this addition. Sun City West builds this addition, and we have to get the plans and specs done first. And all the expenses that we have, should this go through, will then result in a loan to ARC in the end. Is that correct? Pretty much, Carl?
Yeah, you stated that correctly. And a project of this size, in most cases, have been a 2-year project planning. And in this case, due to a favorable donation of all the steel and the installation of that steel, that and us trying, our CSCW trying to avoid the idea that we're fast tracking something, the onus was put on the club to fund or reimburse the rec centers for the set of plans so that I could get appropriate costing for this budget cycle. And then ultimately, the governing board make the decision on whether approving this project in a first-year dynamic as opposed to 2 years of planning, and potentially not missing the opportunity for the vendor that's donating a considerable amount of steel and cost toward this project.
Great, thank you for that. I have a couple comments. No, go ahead, Suzanne.
I too have a question about this project. One of the things that they said, and I'll quote them, is that they sorely need storage. My question is, what do they need to store? And I realize that the plans call for an upstairs where the members will actually have to walk upstairs, there's no elevator, to do all of the storage that they need. All of the members of ARC, I'm a member of ARC, we're aging out. I'm my late 70s now, approaching 80 rapidly. And how much can we carry upstairs and store and then have to carry back downstairs too? So that is a major concern of mine.
All right, I appreciate that. Is there anyone here from ARC that would want to address that? Please stand, go to the podium and give us your name and rec card number.
My name is Ron Rada. I'm currently the second vice president of ARC, and my rec card number is 140761. As far as that storage concerns, we have a limited amount of storage right now above the restrooms and that area, and we have to use a metal rolling staircase to get that to that storage area. And that alone is pretty iffy when people go up and down. As Suzanne stated, we store the car show elements, all of our function elements, all of our admin elements up in that area, and it's a mess. A lot of stuff constantly changes, and that's the reason we need more storage to give each of those entities a viable space above that new construction to store that. With the stairwell as a part of the construction, that will be a very firm stairwell versus what the stairwell is we currently have to wheel into place to get up into our current storage area. Does that answer your question, Suzanne?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Well, hopefully you've all had a chance to review. John? Yes. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I had a question about the financing of this project. In previous years, we've gotten kind of away from that. As far as loans go, has that changed, that policy, or I'm not sure.
Our board president would like to respond to that.
Yes, I'm Christine Novello. I'm the governing board president. I'm happy to answer if it will help, Director Chatton. So there is no policy that prevents that. 127780. I can sign in too. So, but there is no policy that would prevent that. We've certainly moved away from the procedure operationally in recent years because there has to be a demonstrated way to ensure that the revenue that's being created to pay that loan back is being generated in a way that is in accordance with tax law. I believe the Budget and Finance Committee is really diving deeply into that together with auditors and together with the Finance Department. So no answer yet on that, but there is no policy, just so that you're aware. Certainly something that we haven't done in my tenure on the board and haven't done for a number of years, but it's not against policy. Excuse me, it's not against policy.
Thank you, President Novello. Please come forward.
I just want to make sure the committee knows the background of our current building. We started the planning process back in 2014 to establish the Automotive Restoration Club's facility. Our original design included 3 phases, if you will. Phase 1, we chopped that down to make it more affordable. That's our main building. That was completed in 2018 at a cost of $898,000. We completed phase 2, which is our paint shop and prep area, in 2019 at a cost of just under $400,000. The total cost of our current building as it stands is $1,298,000. So far, in a short 9-year period, the club has paid $1,078,000 against that cost, and we're down to $220,000 still owed to the rec center. We do have the ability to pay fairly large sums to reduce our debt. It will certainly be nice if we can get this 3rd phase done, completing our building, and pay that off in a few short years. We will then be able to make major donations, 501c3 charities, if you will, throughout the community. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you for that. Any other comments from the committee? Jim?
I guess my one thought is I'm kind of reluctant to give a recommendation since they kind of got pushed back a little bit in regards to their vote, their membership vote. So I'm kind of wondering if we should kind of go on pause until they kind of recollect themselves and decide if their membership is an agreement to move forward.
Well, I think their vote, Suzanne said, ends Friday, tomorrow. So we will know fairly soon about that, and then Carl can move ahead with getting plans and specs ordered. So I don't know that we need to delay that, though I'm certainly open to other opinions. You know, they brought this up, and to be able to make larger donations. I want to preface this by my comments by saying I support doing the project. I think any time that we can have a project like this done and it's paid for by somebody else and Sun City West owns the building, it's pretty hard to say no. I mean, it's just a really good deal. However, my comments are, you know, in the bylaws that were adopted by the ARC, the first sentence says that the club is formed exclusively for charitable and educational purposes under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Well, I'm not an IRS auditor, so I don't know if how they're operating the club would be a problem with the IRS. But it is a concern when you have $200,000 to $300,000 in income per year, and you've never donated more than $7,000 in a year to other charitable organizations. I think that's an issue to me. And my main concern is, okay, they're going to pay us back. But if something should happen that they lose their 501c3 designation because of minimal or low contributions, I think that could be a problem for Sun City West. We need this paid back. And I think we should all be concerned about whether they are meeting their exclusive formation document as a 501c3. I don't think they've been anywhere from 3% to 6% a year in what they've been contributing to other organizations, and I just don't think that that meets the intent of a 501c3. It seems like right now the organization exists to raise enough money to keep putting on additions Obviously, we hope this is the last edition, and when that's paid for, it won't be an issue. And I look forward to ARC making some major contributions to these other charitable organizations when that's completed. Those are my comments. Any other comments? If not, I'd like to get a consensus from the committee that we would recommend moving this forward. Is there anybody who does not agree that we should be moving this forward? Seeing none, that will be the consensus of this committee. Thank you. Moving on. 4.02, committee tour dates. We all have the tour dates. Our next one is next Tuesday at Beardsley. We had one at Palm Ridge Tuesday. I thought it went really well. We had issues with many things, nothing really major except for pool decking, and that's another whole conversation on itself, which will be coming up. But any comments from anybody on the committee who was on the tour? Suzanne.
I would like to thank Sabrina. We noticed that there was no AED at Palm Ridge upstairs on the walking track. And she immediately found an AED. It's been installed, and now our members up there of the community are much safer as they're going around that track, because things happen. And that's not a good thing to need an AED, but if you need it, now it's there and available. Thank you, Sabrina.
I would just like to make a comment on that. Suzanne, thank you for bringing that up. As much as I would love to take the kudos and the appreciation on that, I want to thank our safety coordinator, Jeff Nelson. He was invited on that tour, and he really made that happen. So I was glad to have him on there and have an extra set of eyes, so that way we could make that happen. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciated having Jeff on the tour with us, and I believe he'll be on our future tours also, so he can spot any safety concerns that we have. So the only other comment I would have on tour dates is that we had a discussion with the committee members who were there after the tour, and we're trying to come up with some sort of link or something on Google that we can open a link up for people to make comments from the general public, from residents here, as to what they see at the various rec centers and how they can send us pictures and send us comments for that. Jim, you have any comment on that? You're the one who brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, that's easily done. I just need to know where to send. I mean, I created the folder for us to work as a committee to, as we did the tour, to dump our pictures, and the spreadsheet to put your concerns on. But if we want to take it to another level, yeah, I got a link that anybody and everybody can dump into that respective for Palm Ridge, and I was going to create the structure as we continued our tours for each property, Beardsley, Kuntz, and RH, and of course, the Metal Club. But I can go ahead and create that structure and for the respective properties, and just need to know how to publicize that link to folks, and I'm all on board, absolutely. The more input, and I had put something on Facebook on the Buzz About Town, and it gotten a lot of feedback, because I only see what I see, and I wanted to see from the users, namely the folks that were using Palm Ridge and whatnot, and the other properties, and got a lot of great comments. The hooks on the back of a woman's stall in the restrooms. The ladies have to put their purse somewhere when they're using the facility. And the comment was they were having to put them on the ground. And I made mention of that at our tour, and everyone was like, yeah. So hopefully we'll be seeing hooks soon on the back. It's something simple like that. And so I invite everybody's input, absolutely. Sir?
Go ahead, Steve.
Thank you, Director Chatton. So I just wanted to make you aware, if you guys want to do something like that, Director Chatton, if you want to work with Katie O'Grady, once you have that all set up, we can certainly push that out through our channels.
Great, appreciate that. I think, there's a lot of comments on buzz about town and those kinds of things right now, but we need something that's targeted into a certain place where the Properties Committee will have access to all those comments and not just have them going everywhere. We need to have them all in one place. So we will look into, is there any other comments from the committee? Do they think that's a good idea?
Sounds good to me.
Holly, please.
Yeah, so I think it's an awesome idea, right? It allows the community to be collaborative with us and have a voice, right? I think as a committee, though, we need to decide how we are going to address those comments, right? We can't just say, put all your comments in here, and then we never look at it, or we never reach back out, or we never add comments. So as a committee, I think we need to just decide, do we review it here once a month, or do we review it every 2 weeks, or how do we review it and get back? Do we let people say, hey, you're going to put your comments in here, and then we're going to add comments. So if you want to see an update, just go to the spreadsheet, right? Just kind of identifying how we respond back or how we communicate.
Well, the way I would see it is when we get all these comments, when we do these tours, the purpose of it is to be able to tell our staff what we see as issues. And then we let staff respond to that. So I think the only way you do that is you give it to staff, and staff reports back as to what they have done about this comment or that comment, or what the public has seen as a need. I don't know that as a committee we can necessarily do anything, but Carl, we'd love to hear from you.
And I just think this is a perfect opportunity to put a plug in for an instrument that exists every single day and has for many years, and that's our member comment form. So you always have this opportunity for a community member to go to a monitor station, ask for a member comment form, and fill out this kind of information. We receive these member comment forms very positively every single day. And if one falls on my desk, or if one falls on Russ's desk or Sabrina's, not only am I responsible to answering it, it also has a tracking number on it that goes to the general manager's assistant, and that is logged in, and the general manager, I believe, sees every single member comment form. So I'm just telling you that there's a tool that exists that is open for all year comments, all year, and it's been very positive already.
I appreciate that. I think what we're looking for is something that somebody's somewhere and sees something and they just pull out their phone and do it instead of going to get a comment form and filing it. So this would just be an additional way for our residents to be able to make comments. But thank you for that. Tom, did you have a comment?
Is it time for,
Do we have anything else from our committee? Jim.
Yeah, I will say in regards to Carl's input, that comment form is also electronic. There's a somewhere in the suncitywest.com website that's convoluted. I won't get on that soapbox, but it's in there somewhere. I will say that I like the idea of us as a committee, if we do something like this, that we review it collectively. By all means, I will review it and maybe not make it a formal, but if there's items on there that need to be brought to as a committee, we could look at it on a bi-weekly, whatever. I am a little reluctant to duplicate a process that, like Carl's saying, we do have something that's in place. But I will say, my experience with that and the experience with the community members, that has a tendency to be a black hole. The follow-up is sometimes non-existent. I've gotten some feedback that folks have emailed the general manager and not gotten replies. I guess there's got to be some kind of a way that we can show the community the follow-up. And I don't know. I will say that my experience personally has been 50-50 on that community feedback form.
Okay, so I am going to defend staff at this point. We absolutely respond to every single comment form when somebody requests a response. Some people will mark the box that says, no, they don't want to be responded to. The staff does an amazing job, and I review all of those because they have to write on the form what they did and what the contact was with that member. So we absolutely respond to every single one of those, if they ask for it. So some people don't. Some people say, hey, there's this thing that I want to see changed or something different. No response required. We look at it and go, well, we don't agree. And that can happen too. Somebody might say, hey, we really want to have this happen or that happen. And we know from whatever reason why, feasibly or financially or whatever it might be, that's not going to happen. Now, if they ask for feedback, we will call them back and explain, or email them back and explain why. But no, we absolutely do respond. And I do read them. I get a stack of them pretty much every day that I review and look at and scrutinize. And I actually will kick some back to staff and say, hey, did you, here I see that you made this comment, but did you do this? Did you do that? Did you follow up with this portion of it maybe? So I'll just say that we do absolutely respond to all of those. Now, it may not be the response they want, because some folks will ask for something that's just not going to be the way they want it to be, but we do respond to all of them. Now, but to your point, there is the duplication is a little bit of a concern of mine, but we can work through it. I'm not terribly concerned about it. I mean, if I would encourage folks to use the member comment forms. That is a system we have in place. As a committee, if you all want to have this extra means to say, hey, what would you like to see different, so that we can, as a committee, review it, I think it's a great mechanism to do that. So I'm not overly concerned with the duplication. We can work through all that. I like the idea of you all sort of vetting them first, and are they things that you want to be able to recommend and go forward that way? Or are they maintenance type things that get kicked back down to us? That's okay too. We can work through that.
My one suggestion is, why don't we just make it default to where we respond back? I don't know, is that cumbersome?
It's not overly cumbersome. Some folks just don't care to be contacted. And I mean, people are just people.
I hear you.
So some folks, they will intentionally mark no, they don't want to be contacted because they just want to say what they want to say, and then they just want to be done with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Why they feel that way, I don't know. I mean, I personally, if I was going to submit something, would want to have the feedback to know what the outcome was.
Yeah.
And most people do. Most people do mark yes, they want to be contacted. But there's a fair amount that don't. But we honor those either way.
Okay. Yeah. Duly noted. Thank you.
Yep, of course.
Thank you, Manager Erno. Appreciate your comments. So, do we want to try this link that Jim had put on? Oh, Russ?
Okay, I would like to interject. We've gotten lost in the weeds. So Carl's reference to member comment forms, he was just simply pointing out that members have that ability all the time, all year round. For these properties tours, I would like all things that are seen on this tour to come to me. So that way how you gather your list, where you put it, that's entirely up to you. But we have to then take all these items and disseminate them between what are mine to take care of, what are Sabrina's to take care of. Because through the year, we come back to properties with a list, a refreshed list, so to speak, of what items have already been completed. So that way we're getting a running tally of all these items that we've seen on the tour. And I really would not like to defer from how that's worked because it's worked very well. And so items get brought up on your tour and they get addressed throughout the year. So by the end of the year, we should have all these items off the list as far as, you know, small repairs, things that need to be cleaned, whatever the case may be.
I don't disagree with that, and it's just a matter, we're discussing the manner of collecting those issues and reviewing them before they're forwarded to you.
Absolutely.
And we need to do that, and I think the idea of, I still like the idea of the link that Jim has because it's specific to the rec centers, but then we should talk about, well, how long do we keep that link up? I mean, you can't keep it up forever. We have to have some point where the committee would need to review the issues that are raised on that link before they're forwarded to us. So that may be something we want to think about. We can discuss it at a future meeting. But for the time being, I would hope that Jim would put up the link for, it's already up there for Palm Ridge. We'll get with Katie and try and get that out there, and we'll get one up for Beardsley because that's what we're looking at next Tuesday. And it's really kind of an experiment because if we get inundated, if we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, this may not be the way we want to do it because it has to be manageable. So, any other comments? Suzanne?
I would need instruction in how to access this link and make it all operative. Help.
We can get that link to all the committee members.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
I
And then we'll work with Katie to get the link out to the public.
So I'm
John?
not a Google Doc person, I'm a Microsoft person. So how do you make it to where they can add comments, but they can't delete anybody's comments or edit anybody's comments, right? I think that's something we need to look into, just to be safe.
Good question.
Yeah, once you give full editor, it's, however, there is a record of, yes. So, that kind of crossed my mind too, but I can't imagine anybody removing stuff, I don't know why they would, but, yeah, we'll give it a test drive and
They
go.
might not do it knowing,
Yeah.
right? It might be somebody that doesn't know how to use it and accidentally does it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, we'll take it for a test drive and see what happens.
I like the test drive idea because the only reason we're doing this is we're trying to open it up to allow more people to have input. It puts more eyes out there to see more things that we may not see, and so we can react to those. So we'll give it a go. President Novello.
Yes. So Christine Novello, 127-780. Jim, if you want just a little bit of input on how to, it's just a food for thought. I'm not trying to give you more work, right? But it's almost, I'm not proposing that you would do a survey, right? That's a very different thing. But similar to that, Google Docs does have a function where you could click on a link and just, the question would simply be, what are some ideas you have for Beardsley? And people would type them in, click enter, and they're done. So they're not editing a spreadsheet. They're just submitting a little something. And I don't know if that would be more or less confusing, and it's really not difficult at all to do, right? I think you've done those before. So it's just food for thought, and then you don't have to worry about who's editing, and it'll be much easier for people to see. Just a food for thought. Not from the president, just from a user.
Thank you, Christine. Any other comments from the committee?
Do we have a date when we want to do that? Do we want to talk about it next meeting, or is this something we're going to
Well, I think the one for Palm Ridge is already up. We just need to get that link to the committee members and deal with Katie as far as getting that link out to the rest of the residents. Go ahead, Jim.
I have kind of a tendency, once I get my teeth sunk into something, I eat and breathe it. So I'm going to take Christine's idea. There is a way to do it's not really a survey per se, but it's a form. It simplifies and and it'll minimize the editing of and it will just collect it. So yeah, I'll have this whipped out in the next day or two, theoretically.
Thanks, Jim. I'm glad you and Holly know what you're doing with that stuff. Moving on. Comments from the audience. Tom,
Well, it's already been discussed, but this is a member comment.
name and rec card number, please.
I did it earlier, but I can do it again. Tom Jones, 110390.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. This is a member comment form that you're talking about. It is numbered, like you said, and it does go, and you do have to have a yes or no. Do you want to be contacted? Goes to the department, and then the white copy goes to the general manager, the yellow copy to the member. So it is a form that's in place. So just wanted to bring that out.
Thank you. Ron, you want to state your name and rec card number?
Let me sign in. Ron Capriati, 134374.
Thank you.
I want to thank the committee for what I've just heard here these last 15, 20 minutes. For too long, I think this has been like a hidden situation for people that are not quite as able to get around. And to see this sort of reaction, and Jim, thank you for what you put out on the Buzz and the other various platforms. I responded to you on a direct message as opposed to on the line, because I try to not get too involved online. But what I've heard here is very encouraging. This idea of having an additional platform for that, and just the ability to have photos looked at, I think is a key item. The form is very good, don't get me wrong, but having the ability to see photos, it gives someone in my position to go and take a look at these things and show you how it directly affects people in the community in various stages of mobility ability. And again, and I've talked with John and I've talked with Christine and Stephen, and they know that I'm available to and Suzanne as well. I'm available to consult with you guys in terms of what I see within the community and possible needs for people with varying degrees of disabilities and things that they can get involved in. And I will try to be at the Beardsley walkthrough and do as much as I can there next Tuesday. So again, the form is good, it works, but this additional one I think is key to getting things more visual. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And I think the committee is paying some attention to accessibility issues as we do tour the various rec centers. Anything else from the audience? I don't see anything online. Oh, Suzanne? Not yet. Next. So that's it for 4.02 for the time being. We'll move on to 5.01, committee comments. And I think we'll start with Lynn.
I don't really have anything to add. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Lindsay?
No comment.
Mike?
I did want to make a comment about the comment form itself. I've been here since 2010, and I think the comment form and how it's handled has evolved into a lot better process than it was back in 2010. Over the time, it's gotten better and better, so I think that's a good thing. The other thing I wanted to mention on these tours, we've had some of the people on other committees tour with us, and more heads are better than a few. You know, they come up with some pretty good ideas from budget and finance or some of these other people that have come along with us for the tour. So I think that's a good thing.
Thank you. John? No comment. Jim?
For the most part, I'm good. Russ and Carl, thank you for the tours. It really gives me a behind the scenes look of the hard work that you guys do and keeping this engine running on 8 cylinders and humming right along. My apologies, Aunt Sabrina. Yes, yes. Yes, we've got one hell of a team, and I really appreciate the hard work that you guys put into making retirement life rock. Thank you.
Suzanne?
Yes. I'm wearing pink today, folks. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I also have a little bracelet here. 25 years ago, I had a double radical. So I understand what breast cancer is, what ladies go through, and get out there, get your mammograms, do a self-check, do what you need to do. But there are many cures today that the advances in medicine are just tremendous. So there's no reason not to get this caught early and get it taken care of. Do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Holly?
Did we send out the link to the other people that were with us to put their pictures and stuff? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, and then I sent you the pictures from the, do you want me just to put it in his Google Docs?
Yeah, you can put them in directly. I do have pictures from you and Susanna. I think I had some from you. I think I had 3 different people sending me pictures, and comments. I have those. But if we can put them in directly to something, that'd be great.
Okay, no other comments, I just had those questions.
Carl, anything to add? All right, anything from the audience? And there is nothing online. Our next Properties Committee meeting will be on October 30th. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 9:52. Thank you all.